The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
So welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. My name is Andre Quintana, and I am your host of this awesome podcast where we tell people the great things that are happening in the dental world and in our eAssist world, because every other week we interview such wonderful team members in the eAssist community where what they do is truly, truly amazing. So if you're a dental office, a dental rep, or anybody else involved in the dental field, in the dental industry, you really have to take in what these awesome ladies and gentlemen that come on the show are talking about, because I think this is where everything is going in dental. I really believe so. So today, I don't want to delay any longer. We have Kristen Marley, and she is a eAssist professional, and I really want to talk so much about her, but I'm just going to let her come in and tell you a little bit about herself. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Andres. How are you?
I am doing great. I enjoyed so much talking to you before the show because we're meeting for the first time tonight. And just like some of the other ladies that have come on to the podcast, I feel like I know you already for so long.
I agree. I feel like it too. It was so nice speaking with you earlier and getting to know you and your background. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that about my background. We were talking about how we put this awesome show together and some of the things that are involved. And if you're a person that works for eAssist, whether or not you're thinking about coming on and whether it's so difficult to do and you're going to be nervous or not. And let's talk about me for a moment. I came from Cuba in 1980 when I was 11 years old. And in Cuba, they don't teach us English. So my first language was not English. And so I had a real heavy accent until I got to college. And public speaking was one of my biggest fears. And how about that? Here, this is mostly what I do nowadays, is to speak to people because I love people. I love connecting with people. And in dental, so now we got to bring it back to where we're headed here. In the dental world, you have to love people. You have to know how to handle patients that are afraid of coming to the dentist and make them feel at ease. And one of the biggest tools in order to do that properly is eAssist. And Kristen and I are going to get into it as to why that is. We take all the stuff that doesn't matter because the patient is the only thing that matters. We take all the other things out of the equation and we let the offices just treat the patients and wow the patients. What are your thoughts about that, Kristen?
I agree 100%. I think eAssist is such a service, and that's why it's growing so well, and we're doing really, really great as a company, and all of my clients are certainly, over the moon satisfied with their teams, and their only regret is not finding us sooner. So I couldn't agree with you more.
That's incredible. Everybody that comes on the show, and that part, honestly, I don't stage this, but I would say you go back to the last 7 episodes, and I would say more than half of them had said that comment that they all wish that they had found eAssist sooner. I wish that I had found eAssist a lot sooner, because here I am doing what I do. I would have been doing a lot of these things a lot sooner, but don't worry about the past, okay? If you are listening to the show and you have potential, if your office has potential, take it to the fullest. So we're going to get into what eAssist does more deeply in a little while, but we're going to talk about you right now, Kristen, because I got to talk to you, I got to meet you, but I want everything that you and I talked about to be out there for anyone that is listening to the show and for them to understand why it is that you do what you do. So tell me a little bit about how you found eAssist. Was it by luck? Was it a friend? Was it a Google search? How did you find eAssist?
Great. That's actually an interesting story. So a little bit background on me. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington. I had a family friend in dental, so I've been in dental for a long time, since I was 16 years old. I was in front desk for over 10 years and office manager for over 5 years. And when I found eAssist, I was working as an office manager for a general practice, and I had just helped the owner open a pedo practice next door. So we were doing a lot. He actually decided to bring in a partner, and the partner came in and kind of wanted to take control and change everything. So it was not really a good time in our office because we had such a cohesive team when we started out from the beginning. And the new partner wanted his wife to come in and do more of the office manager role, and we decided that it would be best if I did focus on the medical billing. So I had started my own business as a medical dental biller. So I was in between transitioning to that, and one of my good friends that was also a patient there, she worked for Delta Dental, and she told me about eAssist. And she said, you have to look into it. It's office managers that work from home. And I thought, what is this? What could this be? I did not believe it. I said, there's no way. So I didn't even look into it the first time she mentioned it to me. But when she came back and saw that I was, not as happy in my position as I was before, she told me I really needed to look into it. So I did. And I applied that same night, and everything took off from there.
That is an amazing story. I love how you kind of, you put it there, and I bet a lot of people that may be joining eAssist, if anybody else is listening besides our team members, because we only have about 7 episodes right now, and this thing is really moving fast. I feel like when we are in around episode 50, we are going to have an amazing audience. I think we do already. I've been watching the stats, by the way. But I love the way this all happened for you. Now I'm going to kind of shift a little bit towards how eAssist has changed your life. How has eAssist become a life changer for you?
So for me personally, it has allowed me so many wonderful things. So I do feel more peaceful. I'm able to change my whole lifestyle around, really. I've been more focused on my health, and working from home has allowed me to do that. My financial freedom, I am now debt-free because with eAssist, you can control how hard you work, how much you make. So the more office assignments you have, of course, the more compensation you can get. So it's nice to be the owner of your own business and be able to decide how busy you want to be or how part-time you need to be, depending on, your circumstances surrounding your life. So it's allowed me to do that. I love the benefits of owning my own business. So the tax benefits have really helped a lot. If you take advantage, and you are educated in the tax code and system, it's really nice to have your own business. I love that I just can work my own schedule around my son. That has changed my life a lot. I used to have a lot of guilt not being able to be at school events for him. When I worked in an office, I was needed and they couldn't let me go at all. So this has worked out so much better for us.
Wow. You have touched on some of the things that I haven't heard yet. It's amazing because we've talked about many, many things with other guests who have brought it to the, they have brought and performed. And this is becoming just so powerful because there are other things that I know other guests are going to come on the show and talk about. I'm excited about this because it's almost like running your own business.
Right.
This is amazing. We haven't talked about that yet. This is great because this kind of made you on fire right now. So you're an entrepreneur, you're on fire. That makes you an entrepreneur on fire. Kristen, I love it. I love it. I love it. I can picture you now taking care of your family a little bit better because you're working from home and you can take a break, right? And cook a really healthy meal, which a lot of dental professionals can't do that. They have to a lot of times work these long hours and come home and, you have to kind of tap into other resources to be able to eat healthy. And is that one of the benefits that you can have?
Yes. So let me tell you, not only are you a dental professional and you're sitting all day, which already is awful for your health, and especially after doing it for 15, 16, 17 years, as long as I have, it does take a toll. So, I mean, luckily there's more technology now, but it's nice to be able to get up, walk around, take a little break, not look weird because you work from home,
Right.
And also to feed yourself healthy food from your fridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because before, honestly, Andrea used to combat me being unhappy at work with going out to lunch with my friends at work. So we would go out to any of the neighboring restaurants almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that food was not very healthy for me. And then you're right, getting off late, picking up my son from childcare, and then trying to scramble to feed him whatever I can. But eAssist allows me to really break up my day. I may work a longer time span, but because I can take breaks and really cook him breakfast, take him to school. I drive my son to school every day, and that gives me great comfort.
Mm-hmm.
At night, I know, okay, what are we going to have for dinner? I can pull it out. I can get it ready. I can plan my day. So that's been just great in and of itself.
And I just want to clear the air that there is nothing wrong with working in a dental office because it is really gratifying, working physically in a dental office. But I'm going to tell you what happens when you're not sitting down. And I haven't even talked about this. You're just giving me all these ideas, Kristen. And I have to mention this one is that I'm in a dental office. And I feel now like I don't have to be sitting in front of a computer, clicking and trying to figure out, how I'm going to reword the narratives and are the notes not great and, all the things that you know about dental billing because I've been there, I've done it, right? Instead, let me tell you, if I was starting an office today and I took eAssist on board and I was an office manager, I would go with eAssist, and then my job would not be sitting at my desk. My job would be kind of scaling the office from one end to the other, walking around, making people happy, because this is what I do in my office. This is my job. I'm like the cheerleader in our office. When I get there, I try to get one of the ladies. I work with 10 incredible ladies in our office, including my own wife. she's the dentist. I work for her.
I love it.
So it's a great environment but eAssist has made it better. I have to, one day off the air, I have to tell you all the reasons why. But I go into every operatory and I shake hands or give someone a hug. When I was doing all these things, and I was still trying to do that because that's who I am, but there were times where I was stressed out and I couldn't do that the way I do it now, because I have eAssist behind me. So I honestly, this is what I do all day long. I just make my staff happy, my patients happy, and I don't have to worry about all the paperwork and all the computer work I used to have to do. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I agree with you 100% because as an office manager, I was constantly up out of my chair, making sure patients are seated timely, making sure, my staff is happy. But I did always have the stress in the back of my mind, like, okay, but I do have, those 20 claims sitting in the queue that need attachments. I have to do this and that, and I have to make sure I can get it done uninterrupted because a 30-minute task might end up taking me half a day or all of a day. So when you have the pressure, of course, to collect and produce, that's always in the back of your mind as an office manager, because you are held responsible for that. But if I had eAssist, I would be able to do what I loved, which was making my patients happy, making sure that they understand their treatment plans. So, you would have a higher case acceptance rate because you're able to take your time with them. Even just anything from patient customer service, making sure that they're satisfied. All of those things would just make everything flow so much better, and even the air in the office lighter,
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I'm honestly, you're going to laugh at this, right? And all our audience is going to really laugh at this. I'm giving out more hugs as a result of doing less dental billing myself. I'm going into, like I said, going into the operatories, and see, I get to know people by name. This is something that I stress as a dental consultant. I think one of the most powerful things that you can do in sales, in customer service, and in our field, you have to think, okay, yes, we're a medical environment, but you also have to provide the same customer service that some of these great companies do. And if you're stressed out about those 20 claims with the attachments pending, because every day that they sit there, it is costing the office so much money, and the doctor, that's where their income is. This is where their staff bonuses are. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and unfortunately, like you said, the patient has to come first. And I am a huge patient service person. So, I used to really find it rewarding to be able to serve patients above and beyond expectations. Like you said, I made it a game to know all of my patients when they come in the office by name without them checking in. I used to love that. And now working from eAssist, I do get the same recognition, but it's mostly from my clients that tell me, how much we've changed their lives, how happy they are in their practice. Some have personal reasons, some it's strictly business. Their numbers have not been better in 20 years. So it is really rewarding. But like you said, the stress, is there because those patients need to come first. So unfortunately, the stuff that can happen in the background, which eAssist normally will take care of for a client, does get pushed to the back burner. But that's the most important thing to the dentist because it's their bottom line and it's how everybody gets paid. So that's why eAssist is really so integral for everybody. And they should really think about joining. And like I said, that's the number one thing I hear is how come I did not hear about this sooner? That's their only regret, really.
There's another reason that for eAssist is when I have interviewed several of the team members that I so much enjoyed talking to. The one common thing with all the eAssist team members is that you guys just speak from the heart. You guys are, as one member stated it in a previous interview, is that you guys are addicted to claims. We are about halfway through this interview, right? And I am going to let people know right now how they can contact eAssist. But I'm talking about, Kristen, I'm telling you that I could talk to you for about an hour. We don't have an hour today, but you have to come back to the eAssist podcast because you have a lot of knowledge that we need to hear one more time. But let's tell people, we've heard about you a little bit. Let's tell people how to contact eAssist. So if you go to eAssist.com or dentalbilling.com, you are going to get, you're going to be blown away by all of the services. Like, for example, if you feel that your patient's accounts receivables are skyrocketing, things are getting out of hand, if your office manager is taking a week off and you feel like the office flow is going to change, there's no need to worry when you're with eAssist. That's another great thing that is going to happen, is that people can take time off, and it feels like nothing happened. You just got to come back in a week, or maybe if you're if you can afford to do so, you can come back in 2 weeks, and you just have to start producing again. But when the office stops, nothing else will stop. The claims will still be being processed, and everything will go as normal. But how to contact eAssist is, I gave you the website, but the phone number is 844-327-7478. You're going to get someone on the phone that is going to educate you and hold your hand and tell you exactly how to join eAssist. Now, let's go down to what really happens. Take me to a day in the life of an eAssist person. Can you do that?
I can. So I do have experience being an independent contractor when I first came on, but I also grew with the company, and I'm now a team leader. So my day does look a little different from just a regular day for an eAssister, but I can speak to both. Mostly it's making sure in the morning, first thing I do is just check my emails, because I'm in the Pacific, time zone. So I'm a little behind of my other cohorts that are on the East Coast. But I go ahead and make sure I get back to any emails. So responsiveness is important. I go ahead and check the portals for any payments, work my offices. I do my reporting. I do have a lot of camaraderie with my other eAssisters, which I find totally fulfilling working from home. It's nice to have that, since a lot of times I'm alone at home. So mostly it's just working and making sure that the office is satisfied. I check in with them. I check in with my teams, make sure they don't need any help, any training. And then if they do, I do some training via Join Me. That's part of my day. I look for new offices coming on. I educate myself about their needs. I find new recruits for eAssist and bring them into the loop and in the fold. So I do a lot during my day, but it's very fulfilling work.
Yeah. It takes so much time to do what you do even in your office, because it's very detailed work. Could you imagine that the team members working in the offices have to answer phone calls? They have to sometimes they have to email and fax referral slips and x-rays to other offices. All of the distractions that come with things that present themselves, because in dental there's no 2 days that are the same. You know that because you've been around a long time. Right. And these things that pop up, and we have to deal with them, right? And these other things, the billing issues that come about, then you have to deal with them. Sometimes you get the time to do it in real time, and sometimes you have to worry about it later after a long day when you don't want to see any notes, any narratives. You don't want to be running end of day and trying to make the patient's account, match with the day sheets, and you know the drill. I'm everyone that's involved with eAssist knows what I'm talking about. Right. Let's go to a dental office that you have worked with that had all these issues that make us fall behind in dental. And how have you turned them around? Can you tell us a little story don't even have to mention the office name, but just tell us a little story that might inspire someone out there listening to the show?
So we have 2 location practice in California. And when they joined us, the office manager said, "You know what? I'm doing everything for both practices. I am pulled in so many different directions. I can't even really keep my head on straight to manage everything." So she admitted things had gone a little bit by the wayside. She felt really a lot of guilt around that. And she really was the driving force for the doctor reaching out to us for help. She said, "Listen, we've been in this together for a long time. I really need this to be able to continue because we have these 2 offices now. We're growing. So they came on board, and Doctor was really hesitant and, about paying someone an extra service to come in and help out. But he, like I said, he recently told me that he's never been happier, and that for 20 years, his collections ratio and the healthiness, like the volume of collections, have never been this good. So as you mentioned, working in a dental office before, you want to try to get to everything. Patient satisfaction is number one. I know I felt a lot of guilt not being able to get to my binder of denials and of, requests for information from insurances because, that really fell to the last priority. And so having eAssist in the background really lets you not have to worry about that. Just like you mentioned, if an office manager goes on vacation or something, all of that is happening in the background. The claims are still getting sent. The checks are still getting posted to the software. There's not going to be a lag in collections. You don't have to worry. The requests for information, the denials that come in, they're being touched by the account executive that day. They're getting back to the insurance companies and making sure that the turnaround on those claims is getting done and it doesn't fall to the aging report. So it really is a big difference having eAssist.
I call you guys dental billing practitioners. And do you want to know?
I love it.
This is the first time I've used this term because you inspired me with all of the things that you have described about eAssist. And do you know why I call it that? Want to know? I bet our audience wants to know. You make other office managers and office team members, you make their life better. You make the quality of life better. And that's why when you go to a doctor, is you want to feel better, right? When you go,
Right.
Usually you go in because you get a routine, your dental, you're up for cleaning every 6 months and you're doing great. But sometimes, people go to the dentist or you go to your primary physician too, because you have a problem, right? When people come to eAssist, they have a problem. They have an issue where staff members may not be taking adequate time off so that they can improve their quality of life. And I just thought about that. You make people's lives, you improve their life, their quality of life, because in my case, I'm able to do a lot more things for Dr. Quintana that before I wasn't able to do because I was working longer days without eAssist. And when I was coming home, a little cranky. And I'm always on. Okay, I'm always happy and energetic, but I wasn't myself to myself. And my team, I'll be honest with you, I see the energy shift to the better. I think what I'm going to be seeing in other offices that come on board with the eAssist is that there will be more smiles, more laughter. People will be able to say hello a little bit longer and tell stories. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, let me tell you something, going back to what you said about the practitioner thing, dental practice practitioner. So we do have a newer client that came to us, and unfortunately, he's a young dentist, and his wife did most of the work in the office. As normally that does tend to happen because the trust is there. So of course, you'd rather have someone you trust than have to worry about embezzlement and that sort of thing, which eAssist, by the way, dramatically decreases that chance for it to happen. But he came to me and he said, "You know what? My wife has cancer, and she's still been trying to do all of her duties, and I have been trying to do them for her to kind of help her quality of life, and so that she can really focus on her treatment and getting better." And, it just really makes me feel so fulfilled to know that I was able to take a burden from them and help her get better and help him feel less stressed and be able to be there more for his wife. So we could take that over for them.
Rebecca Avey made me emotional on the show, and you have repeated that process again. That is such a wow, that was moving. Those are the kinds of things. Did you listen to that episode with Rebecca, by the way?
Rebecca. Yes,
her
I did.
and
I love Rebecca.
Oh, she is. Everybody loves Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
She is. No, she is like number one popularity contest winner at eAssist for sure. She's awesome. She's so fun.
When we get off the show here, I'm going to send a message to her that she needs to listen to episode number 8. Episode number 8, Rebecca. It's in the house, talking about you. But her and I had so many things in common with our children with special needs. Oh my goodness. And her life changed so much. Did you hear that episode, by the way?
I did, and I could relate to it, and I was very emotional. So, that's a great episode. If anyone's listening now, if you want to go back to that episode, it was really awesome. It made me want to come on the show for sure.
Oh, wow. And, all of the previous 7 guests that have been on the show have been truly, truly amazing. Well, we are getting close to wrapping up. I'm sure that there are things that that we have left out, but I'm okay with that, because that means, Kristen, that you will come back someday again, right?
Sure, I'll do a part 2.
Yeah, and then we have Summit coming up, right? Can you tell people a little bit about our eAssist Summit?
eAssist Summit is a great gathering that happens once a year with all of our independent contractors, all of our team members, team leaders, regional managers. We all come together in one place across the nation. This year it's in Orlando, Florida, so we're going to do a lot that has to do with Disney World, and we have an amazing guest speaker. Charles Blair is going to be there. Super excited about that. I get to, meet a lot of these people that I've worked with for a long time. I get to meet them face to face for the first time. So it's really going to be great. It's going to be team building. It's going to be enlightening because a lot of experts are going to be putting on some presentations. So it's really an amazing part of the year, and I have been looking forward to it so intently. So I am looking forward to meeting you there.
Oh, yes. And typically we release only 2 episodes a month. That's what we do. We do it every other week, right? But just because, and we have recorded 3 this month, but because this one is happening before Summit, I am going to sneak this one in and tell Dr. because this is great. You have been so awesome tonight. I just want to let you know that I thank you so much for coming on the show. I just also want to remind everybody to go to our website, which is eAssist.com and dentalbilling.com, and listen to all the previous episodes and all of the things that have been talked about. There is more to come for eAssist Nation to educate everybody out there that is either part of our team or thinking about coming on board. Well, Kristen, anything else that you want to share with anybody? You want to say a special goodbye or anything on your mind? Go ahead.
I do want to reach out to the people who are thinking about coming on board with eAssist because I am a team leader. I do help people transition into this full time, and don't be scared. We can come up with a plan and just do whatever you feel is best for you in your gut. eAssist is awesome. You'll love it. So come join us. Come join our family.
Oh my goodness. There you have it. Kristen Marley, family. You're my family now. Everybody that is part of eAssist is my family. It is an amazing, amazing team. Thank you, everybody, and have a great week. Bye, Kristen.
Thank you. Bye.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.